I have now watched for you 2016's Alice Through the Looking Glass, which is a continuation of 2010's Alice in Wonderland, which I never saw, but yet was a continuation from Alice Through the Looking Glass and Alice in Wonderland, the original book. Although, again, still very much an acid trip, even more of an acid trip than the original version. In fact, I would have to say that Alice Through the Looking Glass was probably what happens if you took bad acid. I've never taken acid, but I would imagine this is what happens when you take bad acid. We begin this story with Alice on her father's ship, running from pirates, in what, quite frankly, looks like it should be a dream. And you're wondering, is this reality or is this the dream? And then you come home to the extremely ridiculous and unrealistic plot line of Alice's mother having signed over some stuff, and they're now worried about losing their home. At which point, Alice, I guess, has some kind of a seizure and winds up back in Wonderland, where the Mad Hatter is in another similar crisis, and he's dying of grief because he thinks his family isn't dead, which should make the Mad Hatter happy, not sad. It's like, oh, they're alive! I thought they were dead! But no, his family's alive, and now he's dying of grief. So Alice has to get in there and find a magic device to go back in time and save the Hatter's family. Or something. It's a really complicated, really silly plot. It really, really is. Now, to tell you what kind of a movie Alice Through the Looking Glass probably is, I've heard this described as a pot movie, as in the people who really like smoking pot should smoke pot and look at the visuals of this movie and be like, whoa! Because that's the kind of movie that is beautiful visuals, incredible, dreamlike, absolutely like stepping into another world. Only thing is that it's the story that they're put to is so complicated and half-assed. I never saw the first movie, so I am almost completely lost. I mean, I'm following what's going on. It doesn't fit together well. Mia Wasikowska, I can't pronounce it. She plays Alice, and my big problem is you don't believe she's old enough at this point to be running a ship. Just, she still looks like she's kind of a 12-year-old. They really made her look far too young. She's very bright-eyed and bushy-tailed there, and you would more expect her to be in her final year of high school, or maybe her first year of high school, or maybe even grade school, because she looks very young. She's not an imposing presence, which is what I would expect a ship's captain to be. So it's not that she does Alice poorly, it's that what they've done with Alice is unfitting for her as a person. They didn't give her the presence of age and the strength to make her such a hero in this film. And it doesn't work. It doesn't mesh together. You don't believe who she's become. Again, I didn't see the first one, so maybe there's something I'm missing. But if I have to see that first movie, if this movie doesn't stand alone, it's just not a good movie. Where I thought the acting was probably best was with Sacha Baron Cohen as Time. What you think of through most of the film as the primary antagonist. He is absolutely Time. He is absolutely a great character. He's just a character stuck somewhere in the middle of things. And, I mean, the primary lesson of this film, which I don't want to spoil for you, is locked in his character, but it doesn't ring true. If he would have just been able to communicate himself a little bit better at the beginning of the movie, we'd have no movie. It would all be over. I did, however, really enjoy his sort of minions. He had seconds that could come together to make minutes, that could come together to make hours. That was a really beautiful thing. I remember the rust effects really struck me as being something I wish I had a poster of that somewhere. Now, the Red Queen is silly. It's a silly idea, and I didn't all much care for it either. I, again, didn't see the first film, don't know how this fits in. I guess in Wonderland you can get an injury that makes you go crazy, evil, and has your head swell up. Apparently that's something that can happen. I don't know how she was defeated in the first film, so I don't understand what's going on. It's just one of these things that this movie, it truly feels to just be a vehicle for the visuals that you see in the movie. So if you're going to enjoy this film, well, I mean, have a beer or something a little less legal if you're that kind of a person. Sit down and pretend you're not there. I don't know if I'd recommend this for children. If you're less sophisticated, you might like it a little bit more. If I had kids, I wouldn't take them to this because they'd probably be disappointed. Anyway, that's my opinion. Why don't you tell me yours down in the comments below? I'm Richard.